Hey everybody, so for today's paranormal experience, I'm going to share with you an incident that happened to me like 3 weeks ago. It was when I was in my hometown in California visiting friends and family. And prior to this, about a couple months ago, one of my really good friends, she lives in this particular town, and I'm not going to tell you like too much information, like personal information about this location, just because I feel like I need to kind of protect people from going there. Like, I don't want people to be attracted to going there. But my friend lives in this neighborhood, and just down the street, just like a few doors down, is this house. And she told me that this house has been abandoned for a very long time. Like, she can't remember the last time she saw someone drive up in the driveway or open the front door or anything. And that house always creeped her out when she was little. And now she's lived in the same general area for her whole life. And since she was little, she said that this house has creeped her out for just, she doesn't know why. It's just like you drive by and you're like, ugh, you just get creeped out. No reason. But recently, like when she called me, she told me about this house. And how every time she drives by it when she's leaving to go to work, or every time she walks her dog by it, she can't look at it. It's almost like she can't really walk by it, so she kind of avoids the house as much as possible. And so like when she drives by it, she just like covers her face and like looks away, like she won't look at it, she can't look at it. Just something about it freaks her out. And she's pretty sensitive too, like I am. She can see things more though than I can, like actually physically see things a lot more, and she hears things and all kinds of stuff like that. But with this particular house, something creeped her out, so she decided to ask her grandmother, who is a shaman, to go check it out, like with her. Well, she thought they were just gonna like park on the other side of the street, like across the street from the house. And then that her grandma would like get a feeling for it. Well, her grandma pulled right up into the driveway, and she's like, oh my gosh, like we should not be here. Like it just freaked her out. Well, they get out of the car, and this guy comes out of nowhere running up to him, and he's like a cable guy. He's like, oh, I'm so glad you guys are home. Like, I need you guys to sign this so I can install cable here. And my friend, she's like, we don't live here, and nobody lives here. And the guy was like, well, someone called from here, and it's on the list of houses for me to install cable. Well, I mean, they were like, yeah, no one's lived here for a long time, like years, and we didn't call, no, there's no way anybody could have called, you know? So the guy's like, oh, all right, I'll check in, I guess, later, you know? Guy left pretty confused. Well, her grandma gets to the front gate of the house. Now, I wish I could show you guys pictures of what this house looks like, but I'm not going to. Just for my own reasons, I feel if I show you guys any part of this house or share with you where it is at all, I just don't want to risk anybody going and venturing to it, you know? I hope you understand. That's cool. But, it's just a one-story house. It was built probably in like the 60s or probably 70s. I'm not entirely sure how old the house is. Maybe earlier. Not really sure. When you see it, it's like nothing special, really, just by looking at it. It's like a baby blue color, has a really small front yard that's all fenced off around it, and in order to get to the front door, you have to walk through the little gate. And her grandmother got to the gate and immediately felt like a demonic presence. And her grandma was getting all like, her grandma's really brave, like, and my friend's just like hiding behind her grandma, you know, and, her grandma turns around. I think they went through the gate. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they went through the gate. Either way, her grandmother turns around and she gets pushed by whatever this is. Well, that pisses her grandma off, and her grandma's got holy water and sage and like all this stuff, and her grandma's like yelling at this demon, like, you get back in the house. And all of a sudden, as her grandma said, get back in the house, the curtains in the window in the house moved. They just moved. They opened, and till this day, they're still open. But her grandma was like, yeah, you stay in there, you know, don't come out. And she's putting holy water on the gate, and she's sealing the whole front part of the gate, like the whole gate and the whole house, basically. Trying to seal it so it can't get out. And so her grandma kind of basically has protected the area so it can't leave, I guess. And my friend, who was she was terrified at this point. She asked her grandma, well, go look in, like, where the curtain opened, and see what it looks like inside. Well, her grandma just peeked through all the windows and was looking, and the entire inside of the house is filled with, like, religious statues and things, like crosses, like statues of Mary, Jesus, and like candles, religious candles, like a bunch of Catholic memorabilia stuff everywhere. And there's still furniture in the house, but it looks as if no one's been there for a while. Like, there's dust on everything, it does not look lived in at all. Outside of the house, there's like this little, it's like, I don't know what you would like describe it. I guess it's like a shrine, like someone built like this little box that looks like a little mini house in front of the house, and it's filled with statues and crosses and candles and everything. So that kind of like makes you wonder what's going on, if there's that much, like it's not like, I don't know, it's not like some people, they'll just have it for decoration. It's like, this is like serious. Like, if you guys have watched, what this reminded me of was I watched a Paranormal State episode where they did a couple demonic cases, which I feel like now that's all they do. But there was a couple where the houses, they just had shrines of Catholic religious statues and objects and rosary beads and stuff everywhere because there's a demonic force in their house, Well, my friend is telling me, she gives me the address to this house because she wants me to look it up on Google Earth so I know what it looks like. And she told me to keep my eye open and look in front of the house on Google Earth and tell me what I see. Tell her what I see. And so I look it up on Google Earth and I find it. I scroll into the house. Any image that has been taken of this house on the outside, on the front, and sometimes in Google Earth, like, you can kind of go around, but then sometimes, like, I don't know, you don't get all the angles of a house or a place, you kind of get, like, kind of around it. I don't, you know what I mean? But any angle that this house, any photo that was taken of, there's, like, this little, it looks like a splotchy, like, as if, like, there's a thumbprint or something on all the photos of this house. And it happens I looked on all the neighborhoods and I was looking at, like, maybe it was on the camera, there's something on their little camera on their car or bike or whatever, however they were taking their Google Earth pictures. But it was like, looked like little, like, just smudges. And then some of them, like, you could see, like, a face. And it was kind of creepy. I wish I could show you guys the images, but I'm gonna refrain from showing you guys. And the one weird part, and this is just me, from my experience with this, I had this on my laptop. I kind of left it on because I wanted to show my husband when he got home. Well, when I leave it on, like, the house, it's like you feel as if something's watching you through the computer. This is just weird, and this is just me, and I could be completely crazy. But that's just what it felt like. And so I kind of had to, like, close it out. I felt the need to close it out and actually shut down my computer. It just was kind of creepy. Well, when I went to visit, I went to my friend's house, and we had, like, a girls' night and hung out and stuff. And I was like, I want to see that house, Well, me and a couple of her friends and her, we all get up and we walk. This is like 10 o'clock at night. We walk to the house. I didn't even know where this house was. I kind of knew what it looked like, but this was dark. I had no idea what this house looked like at all. We get up to it and, like, my heart literally just, like, drops. Like, I see this house and it was like the inner part of me knew that's what the house was before, like, me, like, my eyes could register. Like, it was like my gut knew it before my eyes could put it together. I don't know if that makes sense. Well, I didn't want to even step on the lawn. I didn't want to go anywhere. I wanted to stay on the street. Well, one of our other friends that was with us, she just like, oh, and just walked right up to the gate, like actually leaned against the gate and stared at the house, and then she started to back away. She's like, that was a really bad idea. And I'm like, yeah, like looking at the house from the I guess it would be my, like looking at it, the left side of the house, just when you're facing it, you don't really feel creeped. I don't feel creeped out about that part of the house. It's the right side. Something about the right side was freaking me out for some reason. I just kept staring at it. I kept thinking I was seeing shadows, but it's dark and there are shadows, you know, but I kept thinking I'm seeing shadows moving. It was the weirdest thing ever. And I'm like, I'm not one to just jump and say, oh, it's paranormal, you know. I'm just kind of like, whoa, my eyes are really playing tricks on me right now. But something didn't feel right in my gut looking at this house. We didn't stay very long, and my friend who lives in the neighborhood, she was like she didn't even want to go even near it. She was way, like, I don't know, like, not on the other side of the street where the house is, but even further, because it's at a four-way stop. So it's like she was at the very far corner of the four-way stop. She did not want to go anywhere near it. Well, I wanted to leave. So we left, and then later that night we're driving. We started to drive because my friend was like, hey, I want to show you all the other haunted houses in the neighborhood. So she's like giving me like this little tour and pointing out all the houses that are haunted or whatever. And I was like, let's drive by that house. I just want to drive by that house. So we drove by it, and on the right side of the house, in one of the rooms, because the curtains, they're all like a kind of like a, they're not see-through, but they're white, but you can kind of see through them. Like they're kind of thin, you know, they're not thick curtains at all. There was a light on, just a really, really tiny dim light on in the house. And I could see it through one of the curtains, like one of the breaks in the curtains. And it almost would look like as if if someone had like a candle or like Christmas lights, like clear Christmas lights, like in the room. Like it wasn't like, it didn't make the whole window light up like as someone turned a light on. It just looked like somebody had something like a night light or something in the far corner of whatever room that was and had it lit. Like, I'm gonna guess like a candle, you know, and I could see it, and that freaked me out. Like it, and all three of us, me and two of my friends, we all saw this light. Well, we drive around the block, and she's showing me all the houses, and my friend does not want to drive by this house. Like, she's like, she just does not want to go by it at all. Well, we're about to head back to her house, and I was like, I just want to see if that light's still on, because I'm starting to doubt that I even saw it. Even though we all saw it, it's like, I just want reassurance. Well, we drove by it, and the light was off. So there's no light on. And I looked at my friends, I'm like, we all saw it on, right? And they're like, yeah, it was on. I mean, all three of us saw whatever this tiny little light on in there. And then when we drive back, it's off, like it's gone. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And at the end of the night, I had no desire to go over to that house. I started feeling like this tug or urge to actually go over there and like peek in the windows. Like something was wanting me to go look, you know? And I was telling some of my other friends about it, and they're like, oh, let's all go. And I'm like, this is exactly what whatever's in the house wants. It wants you to feel intrigued enough to go and explore it and figure it out, when it will attach itself onto you. Like, for something in my gut tells me that if anybody goes in that house, and if you're not careful, if you're just stupid or you're trying to get scared, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, it will attach itself onto you. It's going to attach itself onto anybody that steps foot in that house. And I'm like, that's why I don't want to tell you guys where it is or what the house looks like, because I feel the need to like protect people from it. And my friend too. My friend actually, she did like a video on telling about it, and she actually showed it, and she took it down. Like, she was like, it freaks me out even thinking about telling the story to anybody. And that's where I was like, well, I'll tell it, and I just won't give out any information on it, because there's no way anyone's going to find it if I don't give out any information. It's like the only people that actually should explore that house is professional, because I don't know if it's a demon or just an evil spirit, but whatever it is that's in that house is not good. It's not good at all. And no amateur should go in there and explore and have fun, that's the last thing anybody should do when going to that place. And my friend till this day will not go anywhere near that house. And there's a lot of houses in her neighborhood that are haunted. Like, she's pointing them all out, and it's the freakiest thing ever. And I went over to her house a couple more times when I was visiting, and it was like before I even got up to that Four Corners to turn where her house is. Up at that Four Corners, that's what the house is, like, there. It's like right before I get there, it's like I could feel it. Like, I'd forget about the house. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it. We drive up, get ready to that Four Corners, and I get this, like, nasty feeling. And I'm like a warning. That's what it feels like. And I'd see the house, and I'm like, that house is just not right. Like, I've never had that strong of a bad feeling about a location ever. Like, I'll, like, drive around or walk around and read houses and stuff and, like, look at them and see what I get, but this house was, like, insane feelings, like, terrible. So my guess, just based off of what I've seen on TV, like, especially with Paranormal State and their demonic episodes that they've done, my guess is that whoever lived there before, something happened, or maybe someone got possessed, or they had a bad spirit there, or something, and they filled it with, religious things to help themselves, and maybe hopefully help get rid of the evil, but that doesn't necessarily do it. And a lot of people nowadays, they're embarrassed or they're afraid no one was going to believe them, so a lot of people just up and leave, and I don't know if anything really bad happened there. Like, you see it on Paranormal State where someone has died and they think it was a demon, or someone's possessed, they have an exorcism and so they move, it's, you see that on TV, and I don't know, it's just like, I don't feel like anything good has ever happened there. And this is like a really old part of the town that I it's a little far out from where I grew up. But the funny thing is the entire town, the entire neighborhood, the entire area was all a mining town. My friend's house is built on top of a mine. I don't know how you build a house on top of a mine, but her house is from the 50s, but the entire neighborhood was a mining town. They were mines. And, watching Ghost Mine and discovering about all these haunted mines, and I think places like mines having activity with all these, abandoned towns and stuff. Maybe this is what it's like with a town that didn't end up being abandoned. And because my friend actually had some horrible things happen to her in her house before her grandmother helped her protect it, basically. Because my friend had something follow her home, and I shared that with you. It was about the creepy cellar door in that abandoned neighborhood. I think I shared that story with you, where we were out there and my friend felt super sick out of nowhere, and she said that her grandma said a demon lives out in the far, far back. Well, it followed her home. Something from that abandoned neighborhood followed her home. And it was horrible. It was horrible. So I wouldn't be surprised if this entire neighborhood is haunted for that very reason. Like, there's mines. That's my last video that I posted of walking through an abandoned old mine. That's in the general area. That's just like not even a mile away from her house. So it's a big, heavy mine. It was a heavy mining area. And I don't know. I don't know. It kind of makes me look at the show Ghost Mine a little differently now that I kind of have some personal experience with it, I grew up, like, going on field trips, going gold panning and learning about the gold mining stuff, and because our town was a gold mining town, California, the gold rush, so I learned all that in school. I just really had no idea how affected our town really was, you know, in history. It's weird. My mind is blown. But I'm sorry I can't show you guys any of the photos of this house or footage. I was going to take a picture with my phone, and I felt I shouldn't. I don't know why. I mean, it's the weirdest thing ever, because normally I would, and I'd be like, look guys, here's this freaky house, what do you think? I don't know, someone told me not to, so I didn't. Like, I was going to. I was like, I had my phone, I was gonna take a picture. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't go through with it, so I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stuff. And any info that you guys have or might know, you know, about tons of religious statues in front of this house. It's not really that old of a house. Oh, I was gonna tell you guys. My friend found out that it is legitimately abandoned because she did some like research and asking like around town and stuff. She found out that there's no power connection to this house. Like, the electricity is off. No one lives in it. No one's lived in it for 7 years. I think it's 7 years that she's heard. Whoever lived in it before, they just up and left. They just left. They left all their stuff. There's like an old car in the driveway. It's like an old Volkswagen or something. Like, it's just like a parked car. Like, it's not like somebody was driving it regularly. It's just kind of like someone's treasure or project, you know, sitting in the driveway on the side, you know. But yeah, she asked around her neighborhood and stuff, and no one's lived in it for 7 years. There's no power at all. So who called the cable guy? You know, who knows? But yeah, so let me know what you guys think about that, or if you have a house in your neighborhood similar, or if you have had similar experiences to it. And I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful day and do something fun, because I am. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!